with your quarterback situation going into the opening game?
Great. I'm very confident. I think JT's had an excellent camp. Cardell has actually had probably his best week as a Buckeye this week, so I feel great. I don't know that either one of them are the Big Ten Player of the Year, but I would think there's a lot of schools right now that would take our scenario over what they got.
Is the tendency to not overload anybody in this first game, but especially the quarterback making his first start, or what's sort of if there's a philosophy to that, what is it as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I think you got to be not concerned, but you have to be cognizant of the fact that, not that capacity-wise he can or can't handle anything. It's the adrenaline, the first time. It's just the whole mindset of starting your first game and playing. I mean, he hasn't really played since the middle of his senior year in high school, and so just to make sure that you keep things as simple as possible for him. But we don't do a whole lot on offense, despite maybe what some people think we may or may not do. We don't ask the quarterback to be a rocket surgeon by any stretch of the imagination, and so and never have, and probably never will. And maybe that's why those guys have played well in our system. But yeah, we might actually even make a more conscious effort to keep it simple, but not a ton less than we already do.
How's your relationship, surgeon?
Somebody had a question.
Same thing about JT, just how he's coming along.
Yeah,
you looked in the
really
eyes.
good.
He's good to go.
He's good to go.
How has your relationship with JT changed since this happened? I mean, how much time have you been?
I talk to him more.
I mean, I guess you do. But how much? I mean, honestly, how much?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously got close in the recruitment process. One, because he's from the state of Texas, which is my area, and two, because he was a quarterback. So we kind of had the double whammy in terms of recruiting. So I got to know him really well as a person, as a young man. I got to know his family, his brothers, everybody associated with him in his life through recruiting. And then he got here, and obviously was the third guy, really the fourth guy last year. And so just kind of let him marinate a little bit, run the scout team, but still keep my arm around him when I needed to. And so I don't think we've ratcheted a whole lot up here these last few weeks, but other than that, we talk football a lot more than we used to. we didn't talk a whole lot of football when we talked.
Describe him as a runner, Tom.
Efficient. I think Coach Stan Drayton said that one time, and I think it's very true. He's deceptively quick. He's certainly doesn't have the open field speed of some of the guys on our team, but really quick feet, really great change of direction, and has a burst and acceleration that is a bit deceptive. So I think he can make yards in the open field where maybe you kind of look up and you go, oh, that was a pretty good run. Oh my gosh, that was 12 yards, or that was 16 yards, or that was 8 yards when it looked like it was 3 yards, or so he's very efficient. He uses his steps. Doesn't take a lot of steps to cut, so doesn't have he's not a world-class sprinter, but he's definitely got the foot quickness and acceleration that you need.
Are you okay the first time that he's got like a third down passing situation? You okay? You feel okay about when he's stepping back in there?
I haven't felt okay in 12 years in that scenario. So, but yeah, no different than any other time. He's a grown man. He's a grown dude, and I know the moment, the enormity of what he's about to do may or may not hit him at some point, but it hasn't hit me and probably won't hit me because I see him every day in practice. I know what he's capable of, and those scenarios don't keep me up at night.
Can you give a sense of the chemistry that's developed around him with his teammates? That's the rally around effect.
Yeah, he's a very magnetic guy, and I think once he was thrust into this role, whether we knew he was going to be the guy or not, but just the fact that he was getting so many reps in the spring and throughout fall camp, you kind of you see guys seemingly just kind of gravitate towards him because he's got that it factor, whatever that it is, and guys kind of gravitate around him. And so I think there was a chemistry building, and the guys, they've done a really good job of, they don't care. They don't care if you're black, white, if you're 10 feet tall or 4 feet tall, or if you're you run real fast or you run real slow. They just want you to lead them. They want you to protect the football. They want you to, have a command and a presence. And how you get that done is kind of the unique thing in that position. But he's done a really good job of rallying the troops.
Tom,
You guys said-
is there
Lori,
any
hang- go ahead.
extra pressure as a play caller for you on Saturday? Because I imagine you don't want a redshirt freshman having to audible out of plays at all.
Oh, he'll do some audibling. Yeah, I mean, he's plenty capable of that. I mean, he has to. And you can't play the position and not do that. And so, yeah, I think you want to make sure that you call plays that maybe you guys might say might be conservative, but yet don't have all the if this is then that's attached to them. Where, hey, when we call this play, you're good, JT. Just line up, snap the ball, and do this. And so there are those, but we kind of live in that world anyways, especially with our tempo. And so, but he'll be asked audible at times, and we're not nervous about that at all.
Tom, did you notice an actual demeanor change, though, in the offense when Braxton went down, maybe that afternoon or maybe the next practice, when probably people were looking over their shoulder, pardon the pun, waiting for Braxton to come back.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, it's definite he's not coming back. Did you notice, just in the offense, a demeanor change totally from the standpoint of it's sort of JT's offense now, with Cardale, of course? You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah, I do understand, but I didn't get that sense before the finality of Braxton's injury or after. I know we all want to, it is a big deal. It is an important position, but like Coach Meyer said, I think when it first happened, he's a cog in the offensive machine, and we just got to make sure that he does his part to keep the machine going. So I don't think anybody was kind of looking here, looking there, looking for what's next. It was just kind of, hey, that cog's in instead of that cog, we're good. As long as that cog's working, thumbs up.
You would talk desire, interest in getting Cardale meaningful action, maybe before, just if we were up in the fourth quarter, or whatever, mop up duty.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about it. I think he's done a really good job. Like I said, he's probably had his best week as a Buckeye. So he has earned a role on this team and in this offense and what we do. I'd be probably a bit premature to tell you whether that's going to happen or not, simply because we haven't talked about it as a staff. I know if that did happen, that he'd be plenty ready to go and be eager to do it, and we wouldn't miss a beat.